Good evening to you, Dawn, and good evening to viewers.
Can you tell us what were the main messages coming out of the opening ceremony this evening?
Overall, all the speakers highlighted the need and the importance of the CARICOM, the Caribbean Regional Integration Movement, to the socio-economic development of the Caribbean. Among those who addressed the opening ceremony that has just ended were the new Bahamas Prime Minister, Dr. Hubert Menace. And in his address, he emphasized the point that CARICOM should not be seen as a club of officials and politicians. On the other hand, you had the outgoing CARICOM chairman, that's the Guyana president, David Granger, and he looked more towards the whole question of the CARICOM single market and economy. And he used Grenada. Remember, in 1989, this was where CARICOM leaders had decided on a new path, a new development for CARICOM in order to deal with the changing global environment. And Mr. Granger was saying the CSME still represents the best thing for the Caribbean. It is the best way to go forward. He says, given the new global environment where you have the United States policy has changed, where you have the United Kingdom policy is also changing, given its move away from Brexit. You have the African Union countries no longer, whose priorities are not in sync with that of the Caribbean. And he re-emphasized the point that the CSME represents the best thing for the Caribbean. President Moise from Haiti, who is attending his first CARICOM summit, having been elected last year, is also emphasizing the point that there is need for Haiti to become a more important player in the whole regional integration movement. The incoming CARICOM chairman, and that's the Grenada Prime Minister, again, as you're aware, he's the lead Prime Minister for ICT in the Caribbean. But what is also important is that Dr. Mitchell is also the chairman of the Caribbean Development Bank for the next 6 months, and what his emphasis will be, as he indicated in his address, will be to merge the form of policies, both from the banking point of view and from the political side that would come from CARICOM, in order to ensure a future for Caribbean, as he put it, for the children of the Caribbean coming up in the next few years.
Well, thank you, Peter. Well, in his address to the opening a short while ago, the Secretary General said regional integration should continue to be a priority for CARICOM member states.
Having created the single market, the task now is to ensure that the private sector utilizes fully its provisions. We must move to strengthen the enabling environment to support their efforts. Trade facilitation and the ease of doing business at a regional level are at least as equally important as fiscal incentives. We must come to a conclusion on issues such as government procurement, harmonization of customs rules and regulations, and transparent and harmonized sanitary and phytosanitary measures. An Inter-American Development Bank study indicated that if we were to address such issues, including transportation, inter-regional trade could be doubled.
The ROC also noted the economic impact of climate change on the region.
Our member states must continue to rebuild infrastructure destroyed by the onslaught of climate change, thereby incurring more debt at graduated interest rates in some instances. The discussions over the next 2 days will have a significant focus on economic issues and issues that have the potential to contribute significantly to our economic growth, competitiveness, and sustainable development. We will discuss the opportunities for financing for development of small states. The Caribbean Community Climate Change Center is already working with our member states to access the Green Climate Fund. We'll discuss a proposal by UNECLAC on debt for climate adaptation swap. We will hear from the chairman of the CARICOM Commission on the Economy. The president of the Caribbean Development Bank will speak about the establishment of implementation units in all our member states to galvanize growth.
In other news, Belize Prime Minister Dean Barrow has rejected the United States' claim that his government is complicit in human trafficking. The U.S. State Department's 2017 Trafficking in Persons report identified Belize as the worst trafficking offender in Central America, comparable only to Haiti and Suriname in the Caribbean. According to the report, government did not investigate or prosecute any public officials for alleged complicity in human trafficking-related offences, despite reports of a significant level of official complicity. But when questioned by reporters about the allegations made in the report, the Prime Minister said he just isn't buying it.
I wasn't aware of the report, and I have no doubt that what you're saying is accurate. I certainly reject that. I don't know if the report offers any evidence to substantiate that claim, but that's not something I would accept.
Trinidad and Tobago Prime Minister Dr. Keith Rowley has slammed his country's Integrity Commission, saying it has no integrity. During a press conference called on Monday to explain his decision to rehire then fire Marlene MacDonald as a minister in his cabinet, Rowley suggested the commission may be playing politics. MacDonald was first fired from her position as housing minister in March 2016 after hiring her common-law husband and his brother at her constituency office in breach of parliament rules, and then amid an investigation about donations from her ministry to a foundation of which her common-law husband was a director. But Prime Minister Rowley reappointed her to his cabinet as Public Utilities Minister late last week, only to revoke her appointment on Sunday over a reputed gang leader being her guest at the swearing-in ceremony. During Monday's press conference, the Prime Minister revisited his decision, stressing that the Integrity Commission had written to MacDonald exonerating her, but he said the Commission then said she was still the subject of an investigation, even though it did not say what that was about. Based on that and his own experience, Rowley was critical of the Commission.
That in Trinidad and Tobago, unfortunate as it is, there's an Integrity Commission that has no integrity. And therefore, when I look at the overall situation of this particular matter, in my own experience and the record of the Integrity Commission, I cannot but understand that it very well could be a situation where the Integrity Commission is playing in the politics of Trinidad and Tobago and people are being hurt in the process.
Jamaica's Prime Minister Andrew Holness says the church and other faith-based organizations will help government implement a special zones of operation bill that gives increased powers to police. We get more on that story from Giovanni Dennis of TVJ News.
A controversial bill was passed last Wednesday in the House of Representatives with 18 amendments. The bill also received bipartisan support after weeks of public quarreling. In its current form, social intervention will be a necessary component of the crime-fighting strategy. The Prime Minister has indicated that the church and faith-based groups will be targeted. He explains that while it's not exactly divine intervention, it's an intervention that the government can't do without.
The government will be engaging faith-based initiatives in the fight against crime, that we want to partner with the churches in meaningful ways to help with parenting, to help with early childhood education, to help with youth engagement, to help with family planning, and help with dealing with the poor and dispossessed. Government can't do it alone.
Mr. Holness has not shared the details on the extent of their involvement. However, he explains why the government believes the church has the ability to do what the government is unable to do.
We will be looking at creative ways of delivering these kinds of social intervention services, counseling, and the like in the areas of special operations. And I believe that the strategy that we are putting in place will have an effect on the crime rate. It will bring down the murder rate in particular. It is not the only strategy we are employing, but it is one tool in the toolkit.
Still to come in Caribbean Newsline, the introduction of hate crime and cannabis forgiveness legislation among campaign promises in Bermuda. Stay with us.
Celebrating 40 years of fun in the June-July sun. Vincimas 2017. Enjoy the exciting blend of mattes and painted steel and glitter. There's a Monday street party like no other. And the explosion of colors at Mardi Gras. You'll be left out of the Vincimas 40th birthday celebration. Evo 4.0. Evo 4.0. There's Kaiso and the energy at Soca Mona. June 30th to July 11th. Vincimas, the hottest carnival in the Caribbean. Check out Vincimas on Facebook or carnivalsvg.com for more details. Vincimas.
We're ready for Mars.
Ready.
It's another episode. When we out on the road, this is what we love to celebrate, to celebrate. This is not Hollywood. No, we don't come out the road. Drink, drink, drink.
King Baba and the guitar. Every fact that a boy keep on calling me wrong name. But that's okay, cause that's my babe. I don't understand how wearing a name tag on me. Don't know what to say, he's still calling me wrong name.
Don't get vexed with that. Don't say that.
In a place where legends start, the beach is just the beginning. So live a little for the exhilaration and the color of every moment, where time is and life is a spirited event. Immerse yourself in the culture, the music, the people, the island. Love Antigua and Barbuda. Embrace an experience that leaves you breathless, from cricket to sailing week to carnival and more. Antigua and Barbuda, the beach is just the beginning.
Welcome back. Introduction of hate crime and cannabis forgiveness legislation, as well as election campaign reform, are among the promises being made by Bermuda's ruling party ahead of the July 18th general election. The One Bermuda Alliance, the OBA, outlined those and other promises in what it described as an ambitious plan for more opportunity, more jobs, and economic stability if it's given another term in office. The 30-page document, entitled Our Mission, Our Plans to Move Bermuda Forward Together, breaks down priorities for a new OBA administration. These include supporting families, improving education, protecting Bermudians and the environment, enriching community life, health and safety, public safety, good governance, and the economy. Jasmine Patterson of Bermuda Broadcasting News tells us more.
On the subject of families, the OBA indicates a $2,500 Jumpstart savings account for every newborn Bermudian to be invested in and later made available at age 18. A $2 million grant to the Salvation Army's Bishop Spencer School, legislating paternity leave, and more work towards introducing a living wage. The OBA planned to end automatic release of violent offenders after 2/3 of their sentence is served, enact cannabis forgiveness legislation for low-level offenders, introduce hate crimes legislation, and protect churches from having to perform services they do not wish to through legislation. In addition, violent or sexual offenders will be required to have treatment as part of parole. In terms of the environment, there are plans to reduce the cost of electricity through the use of renewable energy, move the bus fleet towards alternative fuels, and a possible charge for single-use plastic bags and a bottle bill. Seniors will have their social insurance pension benefits tied to the cost of living. They will continue to roll out the second tranche of payroll tax cuts for those earning less than $137,000 per year, and they claim they will not implement an income tax. The OBA will work with the Bermuda Business Development Agency to attract bioscience and tech industries to the island, and if elected, will enforce a code of conduct for parliamentarians, fixed-term elections every 5 years, absentee balloting, and address election campaign finance reform.
Over in Kingstown, the Ralph Gonsalves government has agreed to repurchase 31% of the Bank of St. Vincent and the Grenadines, formerly the state-owned National Commercial Bank. The Prime Minister made the announcement on Monday, revealing that the transaction could cost his government $32.3 million EC. The move comes 7 years after the Gonzalez administration sold its majority shares to Eastern Caribbean Financial Holdings. The National Insurance Services will retain its 20% of the shares, while a number of private shareholders will continue to hold 18%. A court in Belize has ordered soca artiste Destra Garcia to pay just over $8,000 for rupturing a man's bladder while gyrating on him at a concert in September 2015. Fernando Oliva had filed a civil claim against Destra, claiming that he sustained the injuries after the soca artist jumped on him while performing at the concert. Oliva said he was called on stage to dance with her, and after the dance, a video showed him lying on the ground. According to court documents, Destra jumped on top of him in a move closer to wrestling than soca. The court says Oliva was rushed to the hospital for emergency medical care after leaving the stage. After recovering, he sued Destra for personal injury. And the court ruled last week that the performer should pay him. It granted a default judgment against Destra since she did not enter a defense, and lawyers in Belize say they're now in talks with attorneys in Trinidad and Tobago to enforce the judgment. Destra has the right to appeal the judgment in Belize. The attorneys say they have sought the assistance of the Ministry of Foreign Affairs in Trinidad and Tobago to serve her with the documents. Destra has promised to issue a statement through her attorneys. And ahead in Newsline Sport, the West Indies captain says his side's come from behind win over India shows what it's capable of.
Welcome to SwiftPack, your online shopping and shipping solution. Receive the best rates, expert cargo management, and exceptional customer service. SwiftPack provides secure handling of your smallest packages to your largest cargo with speed and reliability. We invite you to use our U.S. mailbox service, online shopping, ship air and ocean cargo from the supplier to your door. We handle it all for you. Get started now. Sign up for a free regular account or premium account, or give us a call on 440-6100. SwiftPack. You shop, we ship, you save.
Celebrating 40 years of fun in the June-July sun. Vincimas 2017. Enjoy the exciting blend of mattes and painted steel and glitter. There's a Monday street party like no other. And the explosion of colors at Mardi Gras. Don't be left out of the Vincimas 40th birthday celebration. Evo 4.0. Evo 4.0. There's Kaiso and the energy at Soca Monarch. June 30th to July 11th. Vincimas, the hottest carnival in the Caribbean. Check out Vincimas on Facebook or carnivalsvg.com for more details. Vincimas.
In a place where legends start, the beach is just the beginning. So live a little for the exhilaration and the color of every moment, where time is and life is a spirited event. Immerse yourself in the culture, the music, the people, the island. Love Antigua and Barbuda. Embrace an experience that leaves you breathless, from cricket to sailing week to carnival and more. Antigua and Barbuda, the beach is just the beginning.
And continuing with sports now, West Indies captain Jason Holder believes Sunday's remarkable come-from-behind win over India is proof of the quality cricket the Caribbean side is capable of. But he said his side is still aiming to put the ideal performance together. Holder spoke to the media after West Indies astonishingly defended a modest 189 to beat the Indians by 11 runs and pull themselves back into the 5-match series.
I just told the guys to leave everything out on the park. Just make sure we come off the field, we've given everything, and even in the second half of playing the cricket, it was just outstanding to see the way the guys, showed character, showed fight, they showed unity. And these are a lot of things we've been asking for in the dressing room for a long time. Yes, we still haven't played the perfect game, and that's something we're striving towards, and going into this last game in Jamaica, we have all to play for.
The regional side recorded just 2 one-day wins in the last 12 games this year prior to Sunday's contest. They have also not won an ODI series since they swept Bangladesh 3 years ago in the Caribbean. Despite that, Holder says he's extremely proud of his men.
Relief, you know, I'm extremely proud. You know, we've copped a lot of criticism over the last 4 months, you know, as a team. You know, we haven't really had the best results, you know, and people just write us off without giving us a chance. But, you know, the way the guys played today, I'm just extremely proud of the guys. You know, our backs were basically against the wall at the halfway stage. I guess a lot of people didn't expect us to come and win the game, you know, but it just shows what we have within us, you know, and I'm really, really proud of the guys.
Meanwhile, West Indies head coach Stuart Law has hailed Sunday's sensational win, but cautioned it was just one step on a long road back for the embattled Caribbean side.
These boys, I believe that they have got the skill. We beat Pakistan a couple of weeks ago, chasing down 300, and now we've defended a reasonably small total against India. So two of the best teams in the world, we've gone on and beaten. So, look. I believe they got the skill. I believe they got the talent. If we just improve their work ethic, they're going to have to play a different game than they're used to. And as soon as we start realising that and start working towards that, I think we can start making progress.
And Law said while it was evident the batting still needs work, he was thrilled by the way the team had rallied, especially defending such a small target.
Once again, our batting, we got off to good starts. We didn't quite capitalise. We desperately need one of the top six or a couple of the top six to go on and get big scores to alleviate the pressure that we had at the end there. If we had 240, 250 on the board, would have made our job a lot easier. But credit to the boys. The way they fought in the field, I thought the fielding was outstanding. Pressure catching towards the end was great, and the way Jason Holder stood up, Keswick Williams stood up, all our bowlers, Elzari Joseph, and can't underestimate that pressure catch at the end, taking hold of MS Dhoni's catch. So very happy, very proud, but we've still got plenty of work to do, but we're definitely going to enjoy this one.
Superstar opener Chris Gayle has been named in a West Indies 13-man squad to face India in the one-off 2020 International at Sabina Park on Sunday. The region's most experienced player in the shortest format has not suited up for West Indies since helping them to capture the T20 World Cup in India in April last year. Gayle is the only change to the squad that swept Afghanistan last month. He replaces Lendl Simmons, who had scores of 6, 17 and 15 in the three-match series. The 37-year-old Gayle was picked in a squad to face the Indians in a two-match T20 series in Fort Lauderdale last August, but never played because of fitness issues. The big-hitting left-hander will join the likes of fellow T20 superstars Kieron Pollard, Marlon Samuels and Sunil Narine in the squad, which will again be led by all-rounder Carlos Brathwaite. Test and one-day captain Jason Holder remains rested with the heavy workload of the England tour on the horizon, while all-rounder Dwayne Bravo has not been included. Still with cricket, teenaged opener Hayley Matthews says Windies women are still hopeful of making the final four of the ICC Women's World Cup despite their nightmare start to the tournament. The Caribbean women are at the bottom of the 8-team standings without a point, having lost all 3 games by hefty margins, and still with several tough assignments ahead in their remaining 4 games. New Zealand women, one of the tournament favourites, will present a stern challenge for West Indies on Thursday. But Matthews says the team remains optimistic.
No, I mean, we still have a possibility of qualifying, winning 4 games. So I think we just need to go out there, like I said, and fight as hard as possible for these next couple of games and hope that things go in our way. New Zealand have a very good squad, but we do as well. We know that on our day we are capable of beating anyone, and I believe once we go out there and we perform as well as we know we can and execute our skills as well as we know we can, we will go out there and beat them.
The unflattering run by West Indies women has been a big blow to their expectations, especially since entering the ongoing tournament as T20 World Champions and losing finalists of the last 50-over World Cup in India 4 years ago. And with little to show from their month-long tour after having lost all 5 of their warm-up matches, Matthews said the Windies women also need to rescue some pride from their remaining fixtures.
Start our first couple of games and didn't bounce back very well today. So, I mean, I just think it's a matter where we kind of have to go back to the drawing board, kind of look at ourselves, and even if we go into the next couple of games, try to go into them as head on as possible and even if we can't qualify, just be able to take something like respect or anything or pride out of those next couple of games.
Over to the Cayman Islands, where a football administrator is denying any wrongdoing after he was arrested on suspicion of secret commissions and money laundering. CIFA First Vice President Bruce Blake was on June 30th arrested and later released by the Cayman Islands Anti-Corruption Commission for allegedly receiving commissions in relation to the signing of 2 loan agreements amounting to $600,000 each on behalf of the Cayman Islands Football Association. The funds were received in CIFA's Butterfield account and then transferred to its loan account at Fidelity Bank. But Blake's attorney says he is not at any time engaged in arranging or receiving any secret commissions or engaging in money laundering or arranging any corrupt payment for or to CIFA or any other entity or persons. And that's the sport. We'll be right back.
Caribbean Newsline is brought to you by the Barbados Tourism Marketing Inc.
Grow your business or promote your event through the services offered by the Caribbean Media Corporation and Carib Vision. Our distribution provides a platform on cable, terrestrial television, and websites. We cover carnivals and events from across the region. We can bring your event live and alive to the world. For music makers, program producers, businesses, we can expand your reach to in excess of 2 million households daily. Our other services include news updates to enhance your media products, studio space for program and development. We can facilitate the launch of new products and services and training. Contact us and we will help you unleash your creative ability, develop products and services, and provide the medium to watch them grow. Contact Loretta Skeet at cmccaribbean.com or call her 1-246-467-1044 or 1-246-253-3889. Call and book your carnival or event today. Or promote your event through the services offered by the Caribbean Media Corporation and Carib Vision. Our distribution provides a platform on cable, terrestrial television, and websites. We cover carnivals and events from across the region. We can bring your event live and alive to the world. For music makers, program producers, businesses, we can expand your reach to in excess of 2 million households daily. Our other services include news updates to enhance your media products, studio space for program and development. We can facilitate the launch of new products and services and training. Contact us and we will help you unleash your creative ability, develop products and services, and provide the medium to watch them grow. Contact Loretta Skeet at cmccaribbean.com or call her 1-246-467-1044 or 1-246-253-3889. Call and book your...
A recap of the major developments of this day. CARICOM leaders opened their 38th annual summit in Grenada with Secretary General Ambassador Erwin LaRocque hailing the regional grouping as the best vehicle for economic development. And that's Caribbean Newsline. For news and sports around the clock, log on to CanadaNews.com. Good night.